it's a people, it's a community, it's a life, it's a heart, it's a spirit.
Parents of gay children say, I want my son, my gay son, to have the same opportunity to come to me and say, hey, Dad, I'm getting married, as my non-gay son or my non-gay daughter.
The heck would you want a picture of a tattoo of $1,000 on your penis for?
You might just need to satisfy yourself sexually alone at that point.
Do I regret it? Not one bit. Did I think that I would actually take it the next step and do it again?
And what goes into their life, how they handle it. There are 12 houses, and each one of those houses has a particular function.
Look into yourself, think about it, and just be whoever it is that speaks to you.
Hi, and welcome to Talking About. I'm your host, JC Alvarez. And as much as we like to entertain our audience, sometimes we need to pull the focus and bring to light some really important information. And we're fortunate enough to have today some very special guests from the American Cancer Society. And we have Jenny Saldana, who's a very good friend of mine, who's known me since I was a little wee lad, and David Pulli. Thanks for joining us.
Well, thank you for having us. Definitely.
Now, Jenny, as a young woman, your story is very unique to bring light to, like, our generation as far as cancer, because we basically thought we were indestructible growing up.
Right.
Could you share your story with us?
Well, I was diagnosed with breast cancer in 2006. I was 34 years old, which is technically still considered like an infant for breast cancer. It's usually the average age for breast cancer is over 40. So I felt a lump, and I was having some breast issues, and I was having a false negative mammogram, which isn't the norm. Usually mammograms are very accurate, but the younger you are, the denser the breast tissue, and that's why they don't recommend mammograms for younger women, because my breast tissue was so dense that it was hiding the mass.
But you were even getting exams. You were even,
I was. Thank God. Yes.
You were checking regularly.
Yes, I was checking regularly, and thank God I had insurance that covered getting checked, and so I was able to do that. But again, I was getting false negatives, which can. Most people would like say, okay, I'm fine, but I knew there was something wrong, so I was very persistent, and I eventually got a biopsy, which is the end all and be all that determines whether it is or it isn't. And lo and behold, I was on January 3rd, 2006, I had a biopsy, and January 4th, I was diagnosed with breast cancer.
Now, how many times were you told that, basically you were crazy and that you didn't have cancer?
More than I'd like to even remember. I had 3 mammograms that were negative. And I was basically told very rudely by some medical professionals that I was crazy, I was too young, that I didn't need to run in there every time I felt something. And that was, first of all, it felt awful to have someone speak to you that way, especially if I'm paying for a service. I wasn't in there asking for a freebie. And second of all, no one should be spoken to that way. So yes, I was told quite often, because of my age, that I was really overreacting and being Chicken Little.
Now, David, is this a typical story for a young woman of Jenny's age? That is this something that happens typically when someone is diagnosed with breast cancer?
Well, the stories vary across the board, but I think Jenny's story is so important because she advocated for herself, and that's what we recommend. If you know your body, if you know something's going on, you keep pushing until you get your answers that you're looking for. Now,
are there some services? Because to be quite honest, Jenny and I come from a culture, the Latin community, we kind of like, we self-medicate. It's like our grandma's like, when we were sick, she pulled leaves out of the backyard and made us take.
Pretty much.
So it's kind of like, that's the kind of culture that we come from. What are some of the services that the American Cancer Society can provide to the community? To help in a case like ours where there's really, we need help.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's several different things. The first thing, though, is our 800 number, which is 24/7, 7 days a week. It's 800-ACS-2345, and that can be accessed anywhere. And it's staffed 24/7. You have any questions, and that can be pertaining to particular testing, your city where you are, early detection techniques. You can call that number and get somebody live there 24/7, 7 days a week, and get the answers.
In any language.
In any language. They do utilize a Syricom phone, which can translate over 150 languages. Also, our website, cancer.org, a highly accessed website, about 2 million hits per month on the website. And that, again, has a variety of information that somebody can utilize to help them in their research or personal questions that you may have.
Jenny actually raised an interesting point when we were talking. Your insurance, sometimes insurance doesn't cover everything. Did you find that was an issue when you were battling cancer?
It was an issue because the coverage wasn't the issue in my particular case. The issue was getting the test approved because I wasn't the right age. So I had to have my doctor say she really needs this mammogram. She really needs an MRI, because it would say, well, she's only 34. There's no need for this. She's got a few more years before she has to get a mammogram. So it is a struggle to deal with, even when you are insured, to try to get the proper testing. And then there are people who are insured, but they are underinsured, and they just get denied flat out.
And the American Cancer Society, again, would be able to help.
Absolutely. Underinsured, uninsured, you can call our 800 number, 800-ACS-2345, and we can link you with services that are available both in Queens and the other boroughs.
And hopefully we can, prevent this from happening to future generations, because we often think that, cancer only happens to older women, and here we have an example of someone who's young and in the community, and certainly you turned lemons into lemonade, because you're also now not only an advocate but a performer, and have turned this into an art.
Yes, I was a performer before cancer, but yes, I've written a play about my cancer journey. I wanted to document what was happening to me and the experiences that I had, and I did make lemonade because I found the funny. I found what was interesting and humorous that can happen when you're going through a diagnosis such as this, and coming from the Latin community and dealing with like my mother and my family and how they dealt with it. And I wrote a play called Pink, The Chronicles of BC Jenny, and we had finished a wonderful run at the Ultimate Latina Theater Festival. And I'm just trying to get it out there. I'm trying to promote it and try to get it. A lot of colleges actually solicit the play, and we go to colleges and perform, and just to raise awareness that right. Just because I was young doesn't mean that you can't get cancer, but you need to know your body, because my biggest message is know yourself, know your body, and be your best advocate, because no one's going to do it for you. And if you don't, I found this myself, and I insisted, and that's why I'm here today to talk about it.
And thank you both for being on the show and for bringing this to light, because I'm sure that this information is going to help a lot of our viewers out there.
Yeah.
Thank you
for having us.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Again, I'm JC Alvarez for Talking About, and thanks for joining us.